We love these Vera Bradley Zip ID cases for holding my daughter's Dexcom receiver. They're just about the perfect size. They have a great see-through window and they have lots of cute designs. The only problem is that the space that holds the ID is not quite large enough to hold a receiver. So a lot of people will take this little part that holds it in, they'll turn it inside out, and they'll just cut that flap out. I like the flap and I wanted to keep it. So I decided, instead of cutting that flap out, to take the seam out that holds the flap against the front. So we have done this for a while now. I like to take just one seam out. When you take one seam out, it stays center, really stays in its place, and it's great. It's really in there. And I will show you what it looks like when we take the whole seam out. So in this older pouch, I've taken the entire seam out on the front, and it has a lot of movement inside the pouch. It can move and flop around. It's really not a big deal. You can still see it, but I like it to be more secure that we get when we just take out one seam. When you take out the one seam, I found it's best, I like to take it out on the side where the zipper is when it's open. I'm not sure if that's best. That's how I've done it, and it's pretty easy. You put in one corner first, and then the other. You have to work it in just a little bit, but once it's in there, it's really secure. It stays put. It's not moving around like the other one. And you have the space for your Dexcom, and you have a great little space for your keys or your glucose tabs or whatever, and your Dexcom's not going to get damaged or dirty. And we like it. On this case, I took out a side seam and a bottom seam, and I don't like it as much because it has a tendency to fall down in there, and there's lots of space. I really like it to be nicely centered. So if you don't take out this bottom seam, it stays nice and centered. And let me just show you real quick. If you use a seam ripper, let me show you what that is. This is a weird angle, but this is a seam ripper. If you don't know what one is, they're a couple of bucks at the store. They're super handy. But you just take it and you fit it underneath a stitch, and you just pull it out. This part in here is sharp, so it'll also cut it, but you can just take that seam out, and you can also use your finger inside to help you work it down. But taking this seam out is not going to damage the integrity of the case at all. This seam only holds this piece of material against the front part of the case. So taking out this seam allows you to have use of this space and still utilize that cute little divider. It helps hold it nice and firm, and you still have your space in there. Anyway, so that's what we have done, and we really like it. Good luck.